Hello everyone, this is Nimish and today we're going to review the movie Dangal starring Aamir Khan directed by Nitesh Tiwari. For any sports drama, you'll see that it has a particular fixed template that it follows. Earlier this year we saw in Sultan the basic template of a sports drama with a very successful team or a person who then goes through ups and downs and finally redeems himself through a lot of training, passion, dedication and finally gets that redemption and success. There was a previous very successful Hindi movie also called Chak De India, of course, which went through the underdog type of template of sports drama. And these movies, just like many older Hollywood movies, have the same template, and that's where Dangal is different. It is inspired by a true story of Mahavir Singh Phogat and his two daughters Geeta and Babita and takes the part of women in wrestling. And because it's based on a true story, it has a lot of credibility, and also it does not necessarily, for the most part, go through the typical template that Sultan went through or Chak De India went through. Now those are great movies, those are amazing movies with amazing performances, and I'm not denying that, but I'm just saying that Dangal is different, and that is why, for the first reason, that it's absolutely worth watching. It is fantastically made. It takes a completely different route to sports dramas, and it's very refreshing to watch a sports drama which is usually very predictable or typical. To watch it in such a different presentation, it's wonderful. A lot of care and quality has been maintained in this movie right from the first frame. It's very well nurtured, and it's a lot of thought has been gone through this movie in terms of the screenplay of the movie, the technical aspects, the cinematography, the photography. So the whole movie is completely outstanding, and you can literally feel the quality difference between this movie and the many other movies that have released this year, whether those movies were a hit or not. And that's where Aamir Khan is also known for, the quality of his film, which is always one step ahead of every other film. On the performances front, Aamir Khan is as good as usual. There is now not much scope for him to act, but whatever he has and whatever the role he's trying to portray is absolutely brilliant, and it is something that you can't ever imagine any other contemporary perform. He has done an absolute fantastic job in playing a very aged guy who's out of shape and also the young wrestler, and he's absolutely fantastic. The emotional scenes are completely heart-wrenching and he totally kills it on the spot. He's basically fantastic in this movie. Sakshi Tanwar has a small role and she does her part very naturally, and she's absolutely fantastic. I wish her role was more longer and more substantial, but since it's based on a real story, that's what it is. Fatima Sana Sheikh, who plays Geeta, who has a primary low role of the daughter in this movie, is absolutely natural, and she's great, and I hope she has a long future in the industry because she keeps it very real and does not go over the top in any way. The second daughter, played by Sanya Malhotra, who plays the older Babita, is my favorite in the movie, my favorite daughter in the movie, because she absolutely nailed it with her body language and her emotions, and she had a supporting role and she did it so fantastically. The younger Babita, played by Suhani Bhatnagar, was also a very good and very confident girl to see on screen, and with the very small role that she had, and she trained a lot, she dedicated a lot of her time and effort, and she was good too. Zaira Wazeem, of course, is the girl who plays young Geeta, and she is a find. She is also starring in Aamir Khan's next production, Secret Superstar, the trailer of which is already out, and she is really good to watch. So overall, all the performances are fantastic. Girish Kulkarni plays the coach. He has a smaller supporting role in the second half, and he plays it very convincingly to the fact that you hate him, and that's the point of playing a sort of negative role, that you hate the person, and that is convincingly done. So performances wise, this movie is absolutely brilliant. Aamir Khan's performance is always good. He's always natural. He's always mind-blowing. But in this movie, although he delivers perfectly, there's not much scope for him to give his absolute best or career best. So there are a lot of reviews, comments going out all around Twitter, all over the internet about how good this movie is, how great it is, and how great he is in it, which he absolutely is. But I just feel that more scope should have been given, because every time a scene came, and every time an emotional scene came or a very important scene came, the scene was ended right there. Those scenes were very short, and since those scenes were very short, he did not have the full time to absorb the scene and start performing. This is what I felt about his scope of the acting. So don't get me wrong when I say he didn't have scope to act. He did an absolutely fantastic job, and as I said, you won't have any contemporary do what he did in this movie. But I wish I could have seen more of him. I wish there was more substance and longer scenes that we could totally capture his performance and enjoy it, and with his hard work and dedication he could prove and give a career best performance. The first half of this movie is amazingly refreshing. It's absolutely fantastic and joyful to watch these girls grow, to watch the story unfold as it does, and it ends at an extremely high point and interesting point at the interval. The post-interval, however, focuses a lot on the sports aspect and the sport itself, which is basically they show extended versions of the fights and they show the details of the fights. Hats off to the effort of Fatima Sana Sheikh to fight in the way she did and learn wrestling and everything that they did for the movie. And hats off to the director for capturing a sport like wrestling, which probably he doesn't know much about. He had to learn it or study it, because you need to have a good knowledge about the sport to capture that sport in its essence and make it interesting. So he did a fantastic job in capturing that sport and in getting the screenplay right for the sports scenes. But the second half, again, I think goes down the same sports drama genre version, wherein a lot of matches are played, a lot of things happen, and you see the progress and the ups and downs of the central protagonist in the movie. So the second half kind of basically focuses on the matches, and the first half, which starts off so differently and reaches a high point, gets back down to the sports genre in the second half, which is not at all a complaint, because this is a sports genre, this is a sports drama. But the way it was going in the first half, I was expecting a little more on the second half, but it came down to being just another sports drama movie. The music by Pritam Da, as I said before in another video of mine, Jagga Jasoos, I said that Pritam Da needs to be thanked a lot for successes, because his biggest success this year was Ae Dil Hai Mushkil, and no one can possibly imagine Ae Dil Hai Mushkil without his music. I mean, without the songs like Chana Meria and Ae Dil Hai Mushkil, the title track, that movie would have fallen flat on its face. And so his impact in making movies great successes is very undercredited, and I think he deserves all the credit for being a very integral part of the movies that he gives music to. The music of Dangal is absolutely fantastic. It is perfectly matching the feel of the movie. In fact, it gives the movie the feel that it actually tries to portray. And so Pritam Da deserves all the credit for giving such fantastic music. And as I said in my Jagga Jasoos review, I'm waiting for the music of Jagga Jasoos very curiously, because that's going to be another very different album and an important album that we need to wait and watch. Now, of course, many people are going to wonder if this movie is better than Sultan, if this movie is, much better, or Sultan was much better, or can they be compared at all, because both are wrestling movies and have this similar kind of area that they are in. Well, first of all, they can't be compared because they're two completely different stories. This is the story of a family, whereas Sultan was a love story, so to speak, and a story of ego and a man himself. Sultan went down to many more cliches of sports drama movie, which is the training session, which is supposed to be inspirational, the redemption at the end, the downfall of a very successful sports person. So it had all those cliches, and I think that Sultan mainly worked because it had Salman Khan's complete dedication, 400% dedication, passion, and his fan following, which is unmatchable. If Sultan was made with someone else like John Abraham or someone who does not have as much of a fan following, that movie would not have worked at all. So any Salman Khan movie works because of Salman Khan, and of course he's giving his best. But Sultan itself wasn't Salman Khan's best movie, because there are movies like Bajrangi Bhaijaan which were absolutely fantastic, and Tube Light next year, which is also going to be really mind-blowing. So Dangal is very different. You can't compare it to Sultan, and you can't compare it to any other sports film, because it is very different, and it takes a path that is very original and different and unique from sports movies. However, the second half falls in the same trap. Overall, Dangal is a great movie. It has quality which is clearly visible while you're watching the movie. It has the feel that you paid the ticket price and it was absolutely worth it. It has performances that pack a punch. In fact, I think that the performances of the children who are, very raw, who are new to the camera, and they get the best because they are not very scared about their image or anything. They are fantastic, and they are much more impressive than Aamir Khan, because we've seen Aamir Khan at his best and we've seen him in much better roles. So I don't think this is the best performance of Aamir Khan in his life. It is what it is. He's done what he always does, which is completely nail, put the nail on the coffin. So he's completely done his best. Overall, you must watch Dangal. It is a quality film. It's a great end to the year, and you can't miss it because of the sheer quality that it provides. Many people all around are tweeting about, they should go to the Oscars. I honestly don't think so, because the world has seen too many sports dramas, and another sports drama has nothing to do with winning an Oscar or impressing people internationally to win an Oscar. So definitely not Oscar material that people are saying. I'm just addressing random issues here that are coming up about Dangal. But Dangal is definitely worth a watch. It's a great film this year. And in this year, especially when we had only a handful of good films, this is something really good. So I'm going with 3.5 stars for Dangal. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and keep watching.